crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talent, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadet. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Suson Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and your cells feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jodi Suson. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Well, Grand Rising, everyone, and happy Tuesday. So this is like my favorite day of the week. I'm just going to tell you. I get to bring on amazing people like my friend Dr. Steven Spencer. We get to share wisdom with the world, and this is going to be a good day. So let me bring on Steven, and welcome.
Morning.
How are you?
Awesome.
I know you are. Oh, goodness gracious.
You're so chipper this morning.
I am. I feel good. I went out walking before the show, and I don't know what got into me. So I think I infused the frequency of lion's mane into my body. So.
Yeah, lion's mane is a great adjunct to add to your anti-aging regimen.
Oh yeah. I'm 58, and I think I'm looking pretty good. So I'm a lion's mane girl.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it seems like we may have some reverberation. Might you have another window open, or maybe it's on my part?
I don't know.
Just double check myself. So I don't have anything open on Safari. So, and I'm only on Chrome. Okay, so we're good. It'll probably go away. So, Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, before we get this party started, I just want to, you know, I did this training for a couple of weeks, divine intervention, spontaneous remission, and actually we did a show while I was in training, right? And I really, I learned a lot more about the human condition than like what I gave myself credit for in the past. And something that's showing up, and it's not even necessarily on me, some of it's on me, is judgment. I'm seeing a lot of it. And I don't actually, I have no charge on it anymore. When someone judges me, I'm like, but I love myself anyway, like I'm okay with my imperfections and I'm okay with my flaws. But I want to do something with you today.
Okay.
Yeah. I looked up some mantras and I want to bring to the world before we even get the show started. Acceptance, love, infinite love and gratitude, right? Yeah. And replace judgment with, for the world, for everybody who's listening and anybody they touch, infinite love and gratitude. Like lose the judgment and replace it with infinite love and gratitude. Should we give that to the world today?
We can do that. So you want to do a healing on the collective?
Yeah, I do. I think they kind of need it today.
Yeah. Okay. We can start with that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we want to work with the collective. So let's go into that. So what it is when we look at the outside world, or actually when we look inside ourselves, it's a reflection of our outside world, right? Mm-hmm. So when we judge ourselves, we're judging everyone else, and the world is filled up with all kinds of different belief systems, right?
Yes.
And limiting beliefs and self-doubt in themselves, and they want other people to basically boost their ego by falling into line with their belief systems, right? And the reason they do the reason that's done is because it's about self-acceptance. They have to have everyone else accept what's inside them or what they believe about them, or there's no validity with inside them, right? So the first thing we want to do is with the collective is we just want to basically say, I fully and completely accept all parts of me unconditionally. And we check that, and it's infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. So let's write that down. Fully embrace and accept.
And I'm going to put this in the comments. So I fully embrace. Let me just write this down.
I fully embrace and accept my uniqueness.
I fully embrace and accept my uniqueness.
Right.
And then I put that extra I out.
Yeah. And so the reason why someone would not accept themselves and search externally for themselves is because they don't feel like they have a purpose, right? Mm-hmm. So they're searching for that purpose. So everyone here is born for a reason. That's why we're here, right? Everyone here was born for a reason. They have a purpose. And so whatever the divine has in store for them. So, we're going to say, I have a purpose and a mission to fulfill, right?
Yes.
We all have mission work. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. So
I don't have, I have a purpose and a mission to fulfill, right? Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay with my computer while I type. It doesn't actually type.
That's okay. That's okay. So I have a purpose and a mission. Yeah. And so what we want to do now is we want to set, those are limiting beliefs that are there, but we want to set an intention. And we want to set an intention. How do we think people would feel if they felt like they belonged and they embraced their own uniqueness and accepted it? So how do we want the collective to feel?
Loved, a sense of belongingness, a sense of I count, what I do matters.
And so if everyone was loved and accepted for who they were, what would that look like?
Joy, peace, harmony.
What would they be doing?
Well, for one, they'd be smiling, right? They'd be smiling.
Great. Smiling, and what else? How would they be living their lives?
Oh, by their highest values, they'd be contributing to the lives of others.
Okay, contributing to others.
Without judgment, and just fully acceptance and compassion.
So the way that we help others is by staying authentic, living through the heart, contributing to others, living. Because oftentimes they live through their mind, right?
Right.
And they live through the mind, and the mind is filled with ego. And I always say that is the double energy of the subconscious mind. It's all the fears, doubts, worries, and everything like that. And it's there's a biblical quote. It's a man who knows himself well is protected by a sheet of armor the devil cannot penetrate. So it doesn't matter what anyone says or does to you. You will not be knocked off your horse. You will continue on your path. So now we're going to say, I am loved, smiling, contributing to others, living through their heart, infinite love and gratitude. We're going to say it again. I am loved, smiling, contributing to others, living through the heart. Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to write that. I love, smiling, and contributing
to others, living through my heart.
Living through my heart. I want to focus on.
And that's our intention for the collective. That's what we want to set out there today.
Yeah, and really, I want to make sure people hear, because I'm kind of hearing people aren't hearing something. Living through the heart, right? Living through the heart.
Yes, and honesty. When we live through the heart, we live through honesty, morality, and integrity.
Yeah.
We're not concerned about what others think. We're not concerned about how others feel. We are just living authentically, right?
Yes. When we live authentically, this happened to me yesterday. It was wonderful. It was so wonderful. Someone sat there and judged me, like right in front of all my peers outwardly.
Okay.
And I said, that is a flaw. And I said, I love myself anyway.
Yeah. If you know you're doing the right thing, when others' judgments don't affect you, right? It will only trigger you if there's things inside you and you need that validation externally. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, really cool, but it called me to bring this into the field for the collective, because we need to. I want people to have more love in their life,
Mm-hmm.
and starting with themselves.
Yeah, your inner world is your outer world. So if you don't, it's not internal, it's gonna be reflected outward.
Yeah. So thank you. So I love living and contributing to others, living through my heart, living authentically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just here we go. Authentically. All right. So that is the intention for the show. And I didn't give you a chance to introduce yourself, and I was interrupting because I'm like, oh no, I introduced him, but I didn't really give you a chance to introduce yourself. So please, let's backpedal just a little bit.
Okay.
Tell the world about.
And then we got to go back. We got to go back because we got to run the portal on what we just created.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Steven Spencer. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I fix 100% of orthopedic issues not related to cancer, fracture, or infection. And I'm the master of the subconscious mind. So I reprogram the subconscious mind, which is the manifestation of all the things within our health and our lives. So I help people attract the money, the three things everybody wants. I help them attract the money, the love, and the health that they actually desire. And I interpret the love language of the universe as in karma, which are the gifts and strange wrapping paper. They're the pains, fears, and traumas of life that are just gifts and strange wrapping paper. I help them interpret them to understand why they're there and how they're helping you to transform. And through that, and embracing that now, we can live the life that we feel we are deserved or want to live.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well said. I'm just like smiling this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said we have to create this portal, or are we
All
good?
right, yeah, so we got to go back. We created this big energy portal, right? Based around fully embracing and accepting our uniqueness. And so when the collective doesn't embrace themselves, they don't accept themselves, they don't love themselves, they're out there searching for external validation of things. And what happens is we get chaos. There's a lot of anger in society. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, worry, right? And there's no need for any of that, right? When you worry, when you're depressed, you get more of that. When you're angry, you get more of that. And it just shows up in our lives as in symptoms in our body, in our life. So we just want to run a portal on that, fully embracing and accepting our own uniqueness. And when we go into that, the portal that we created, it ends up being having a spiritual imbalance on the collective, infinite love and gratitude. So we say infinite love and gratitude because love is the highest vibration. Dr. Moroso Emoto was a doctor that discovered that words influence the molecular structure of water. Hate, anger, fear, sadness, worry, doubt, depression, all these different emotions, they vibrate at a low frequency that doesn't allow energy to move through water. It changes the crystalline structure. Love is the highest vibration. It changes in this perfect way that allows energies to flow through the body. We don't resistance. Emotion is energy in motion. So when we're in a negative state in the mind, energy doesn't flow in our body and our life creates symptoms. So what we want is just every time we find an imbalance and we feel a resonance change, I just use kinesiology to tap into that. We want to say infinite love and gratitude, right? And in that, we find spontaneous healing, spontaneous remission of uncurable diseases or situations in your life. All of a sudden, you attract in different people, different circumstances. So when we have this spiritual balance, because people are not fully embracing, accepting their own uniqueness, that is happening because of the mind. No, it's not because of the heart. No, it's because of the will of society. Infinite love and gratitude, the will, and our will is our choice. That the people are denying that they had a choice. Infinite love and gratitude, the people's free will and their choice to choose. But when we are stifled because we don't feel like we have free will as a collective, it causes energy not to flow. And that energy, the 5 elements, isn't flowing through where? Fire, infinite love, the fire element. So small intestine meridian, it's been love and gratitude, small intestine meridian. So the fire element deals with rising up, right? Deals with rising up, being our authentic selves, right? Who are actually here meant to be. You're not the worries, you're not the sadness, you're not necessarily the negative things that you think about yourself, right? You are here to realize your infinite potential. So in that, we have the fire element in the small intestine meridian that's not flowing through which pathway? Is it the Shen pathway? No. Is it the Ko pathway? Yes. So it's not the metal element. So the fact that people aren't rising up means that they aren't solid. They aren't standing firm in themselves because it's not feeding into that metal element. It's like that strong structural building that the architect designed just perfectly that doesn't sway. The storms can't take it out. And so in that, when we have the small intestine and it's not flowing through that Ko pathway, that would be affecting the large intestine, infinite love and gratitude, the large intestine. So we have the small intestine not being the large intestine through that pathway. And so now we want to go into finding out how it's actually being expressed and which expression channel. So it's an emotional expression channel. As a thought virus, no. Emotional cancer, no. Personal evasion, physical personal evasion, infinite love and gratitude, the physical personal evasion. Society as a whole is being invaded physically. And the emotion that's being held in there is in the fire element, and it's lost, frightfully overjoyed, not sure, not thinking, abandoned, feeling left out, infinite love and gratitude. So society as a whole is embracing some of their uniqueness because they feel left out. Infinite love and gratitude. To being accepted. So the self-acceptance in me acknowledges the self-acceptance in you, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. And we're just going to say, I live in a world of acceptance.
Okay, I'm putting it, I live in a world of acceptance.
Infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. I live in a world of acceptance. Say it again.
And I live in a world of acceptance. I live in a world of acceptance. Infinite love and gratitude.
Yeah, there we go.
Infinite
Awesome.
love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. I live in a world of acceptance. Infinite love and gratitude.
Yeah, we're solid on that now. So any other emotion, anything else, an expression channel? No. Is there a holding pattern? No. So that's great. There's no holding pattern. It's not affecting our physical beings. But just as a global collective, the energy wasn't flowing. It wasn't, the small intestine wasn't feeding the large intestine, because people weren't standing, they weren't rising up to who they actually can be. So now when we actually go back and we say, as a collective, today we choose to be our best by being 100% ready, willing, able, safe, supported, and deserving of embracing and accepting our own uniqueness, having a purpose, living in mission, loving, smiling, contributing to others, living through our hearts right now, infinitely and forever, no matter how painful, scary, or challenging it is, has been, or will be. It's rock solid. So we just made a big shift in the microcosm.
Yay! Because I just want people to have, I want them to have what they want, which is, and at the end of the day, really, the truth of the truth is they just want to be loved and accepted.
That's all it is. That's the only reason that people seek out money. It's the only reason people seek out, whatever it is they want in their life, right? That's what they're chasing. The fact of the matter is it was always inside them from the beginning.
Yes, because people. It's unfortunate that there's many people have been programmed to believe that they have to be perfect. We were talking about this Sunday night. I did a presentation in Atlanta at 5 centers. I forget the exact name because I'm so new here. I can't remember these things. But hey, wonderful group of people. All of them were intuitives, right?
Yeah.
And we had some fun. We played, right? And but really, it's programming. So here today, lose the programming of yesterday, bring on the new programming of today, which is infinite love and gratitude, accepting yourself with all your flaws, and knowing that your flaws are perfect, and that's what makes you the unique person that you are, and it's going to get where you go. So let's bring on a caller, shall we, Stephen?
Sure, let's do it. Or do you want to talk? Or did you want to talk about your program that you're doing? Your
my functional food.
Yeah, your functional food program.
Yeah, and we can do that. Let's do that. So so next, starting, I think it's going to be starting this week. We're waiting for some back end on the website development to work. And here, so sorry, Philip is here. He says Little 5 Points Community Centers where we did the speaking engagement. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate you. And actually, Philip, thank you for bringing me. Philip is the one who brought me to be a speaker, so I'm so grateful. So the functional food program is it's been an expensive program. And because it takes a lot of my time to teach people about food as medicine. And it was born out of the fact.
It's very detailed.
Yeah, it is. It is
a lot of information there, because it's not just, eat these foods. It's about how to clean up your environment. It's about, the effects the foods have on your body, right? It's what else was involved in it? I mean, you were going through it with me, and there was so much detail.
Yeah, so it's about removing the toxicity. So it's not only the chemical items in your home, but your personal care items that you're putting on your body.
Right, the cleaning products, and it's about cleaning up your environment, filtering your water, like your air. It's more than just food and what you're eating. Is the vanity part of weight loss and what we look like to be accepted.
Yes, because technically right now, and I'm fine with it, I'm overweight. And actually, so being healthy is not always about your weight. And I'm not saying go out there and get heavy. But yeah. I was eating healthy, so I was still functioning really, really well. But I saw a picture of myself, Stephen. I was on top of this waterfall in on this mountain, and someone took a picture of me and I posted it by accident. I didn't realize I was on top of the waterfall. I thought it was just the waterfall. And it was a gift because I saw I had a belly the size of Mount Olympus. And I'm like, wow, where did that come from? Right? Because we don't see ourselves. And so, and then I realized, and then I bought a new pair of pants. And in 5 days, the pants didn't fit. And I'm like, what's going on? I had parasites.
Mm.
And so my stomach got huge.
Yeah, it's swollen.
Yeah, like huge. And I like in the 7th or 8th month of my pregnancy of this parasite, the way that I looked. So, and I laugh at myself with this stuff because it's funny. So I used my red light therapy and killed it, and then took, and my stomach's
Red
back
light
down.
therapy gets rid of parasites?
Red light therapy. Mm-hmm.
Does it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so I killed, I would say like 98% of it, and then I used clove and oregano.
Yeah.
And my stomach is not extended. I still have an opportunity to lose weight, but I'm certainly not looking like I'm ready to give birth. Don't spit that out because I saw that coming.
That's my breakfast.
Here's mine. There you go. Yeah. It's my dandelion coffee with 10 different mushrooms this morning. And
are you doing an intermittent fast?
I think I kind of am.
Yeah.
It's just it wasn't intentionally doing it, but I'm drinking a lot more now. Water, less food, just giving my body a rest. Yeah.
I mean, I actually probably need to do more of that instead of staying in mTOR. So mTOR is the cellular rebuilding process where autophagy is clearing a metabolic byproduct and getting rid of the senescent cells. So through that intermittent fasting, there's a lot of benefits because you're going to increase your sirtuins, rapamycin is going to pick up all these other anti-aging compounds. So I probably need to get more focused on having shorter periods of feeding, where I'm eating, the same amount of calories, but in a shorter period of time instead of, I like to space it out because I eat so much food in a day. Working out, you have to supply the muscle mass, you have to eat a lot of food. So it's hard to eat that big of meals. It's easier to eat, split up. The typical bodybuilders, they eat, 6, 7, 8 times a day and they split the meals up. But in that, your body's always digesting.
Right.
It's good to give your body a break.
Yeah, it is. And since we're talking about food, I want to show you where I'm going today. Because it's just so exciting. So it's a farm, and he raises cattle, and I got some of his meat, and I think this is here it is. So I got some of his meat, and it's called Casa Fattoria, and I will bring it up on StreamYard. I'll just share the screen. It is the best meat, literally, that I've ever had in my entire life.
This is a farmer that's by you?
Mm-hmm. And it's called Casa, and this is in the around Ackwith, your community, your magazine. It's Casa Fattoria, local, chemical-free, and in-season options for better health. And the husband and wife team is Tony and Julie, and it was the best fat I've ever tasted, and it speaks to that, right? Because the fat is what's going to help heal your brain, and you probably could talk more about that than me, but we only put Celtic sea salt on this beef, and it was, literally like, and my birds had it too, and they thought that was amazing. So we're going to go out and see the farm today.
Birds don't normally eat are carnivores. Don't they normally eat just seeds and berries?
So, yes, some do. And you think about the bird, catches the early worm, right?
I mean, you have some birds like eagles, of course, they be rats and and mice and things. But
yeah, well, but they also eat worms, and worms are meat.
okay.
So, and my birds absolutely eat meat. They eat chicken,
Yeah.
they eat beef, they eat bacon.
Okay.
I get them all the healthy fats, especially the bacon fat. They love that.
Yeah. Actually, Dr. Joe Mercola got me putting Zeus on beef tallow.
Very good. Yeah.
So it's like his little treat. He was getting cataracts, and so I started putting carnosine and some beef tallow.
Nice.
Yeah. The L-carnosine is actually really good for cataracts. So we put him on. It's an antioxidant for him. So we put him on that for the cataracts, and then give him the beef tallow. And he goes, he knows the word beef tallow.
Oh, does he? No, that was fast.
Yeah. I was at his house, and he would follow him all around the kitchen, and he'd go sit right by where the beef tallow was.
Not a dumb dog. I mean, let me tell you, right? I mean,
yeah, I was unbelievable. I've never seen him go that crazy over anything.
Well, I mean, and I'm sure Mercola has like the best, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So
organic. Yeah, you can buy it in bulk on Amazon. It's good. It's better to cook with that. We don't want to cook with a lot of seed oils. Seed oils go rancid. Even olive oil is a low flash point and goes rancid.
Oh, especially olive oil.
Right.
Especially olive oil.
Yeah, everybody thinks olive oil is healthy, and it is, and raw. But when we cook with these low flash point oils, they turn rancid and they oxidize. And they become inflammatory.
On this. Keep going. I'll clip this and put it in the in the functional food program, because we cook mostly with coconut oil, because you can cook on high heat.
Yeah, the best oils to cook with are going to be coconut oil, avocado oil, and pure beef fat.
Yeah. So we also cook with the bacon fat.
Yeah. Right.
So
I actually, genetically, I don't metabolize fats well. So I have a couple different genes that don't allow me to metabolize fats as well as necessarily carbohydrates. So I have because of my DNA, when I look at my DNA, I create excess ammonia, right? And so people who have certain genes like a FADS gene, they will not metabolize these fats well. So which means that if you don't metabolize them, they end up converting to ammonia. If you have too much ammonia, then that converts to peroxynitrate. And peroxynitrate's a free radical that would cause gut damage, and it would also create dementia later on in life. So we want to keep our antioxidant to free radical balance in check. So I just make sure I have my fats very moderate. I don't want to do a super high fat diet. So for me, if I was to do a diet that, like the keto diet, that would be a horrible diet for me. And that's why when I did it, I lost weight, but I was always puffy and bloated.
Right.
Because I was creating a lot of peroxynitrate, high ammonia levels, and the other thing too is when you have high ammonia levels, you're probably going to have high blood pressure. That's why when some people do ketogenic diets with the high meat diets, and the high fat, bacon fat and everything like that, they get high blood pressure because it's the high fats not metabolizing, creating too much ammonia. Right. And then ammonia then causes a higher amount. It just regulates angiotensin 1 and angiotensin 2. Right.
Yes.
It causes blood vessel constriction.
And now I always love having you on the show, because you take my knowledge and the world's knowledge to a new level. Thank you.
To a little deeper level.
Yeah.
And the people that I've learned from know way more than me.
And that's the beauty, because as long as we're all learning from each other, it's awesome. She says, great show so far. Hi, Jodi. Hi, Dr. Spencer. Hi, Courtney. How are you, Dolly? And there was a question here from Chris. She says, avocado oil Yeah, so cooking with high fats, avocado oil, tallow, bacon fat, and coconut oil are the best oils to cook. The only way that we use olive oil in this household is over a salad, cold.
Yeah.
So, and if I want to use something like sesame oil, because I use that for when I make a fried rice dish, actually, I cook the fried rice in coconut oil, and then I put after I'm done cooking, then I'll put the toasted sesame oil on top of it, so it doesn't actually get a raised heat. It's just warm. So like that. So it probably stays around 200, not even that, probably 100
Not
degrees.
even, probably not even that.
Yeah.
No, that's not
So,
gonna, that won't denature it.
no, right. And so it's learning how to play with your food, because you want the certain oils and it tastes good. Just play with them in the right space. So
Yeah.
I'm going to run to commercial real quick, and I'm going to bring on, I know that we have people in the calling in to have their hands up. So 779-801 is the first one we're going to bring up. And so, and I'm just, I know that you all know this, but Dr. Spencer is here to offer. Oh, goodness gracious, my Podbean never started. That's okay. We'll just download this one and upload it to Podbean. But Dr. Spencer is going to do remote healings today, right?
Yep.
As he always does. And there seems to be a question. Does Dr. Spencer, do you offer that kind of genetic analysis for clients?
Yeah, I just need a DNA report from 23andMe. So once I have that DNA report, I can plug it in the computer system, and then I can do a readout and tell you exactly what foods, well, whether your diet should be consistent mostly of fat, carbohydrates, if you don't metabolize proteins well, if we're oxidizing those. We compare, and I can look at antioxidant production, neurotransmitter production, hormones. We can go through all the different body processes and figure out, restructure your diet a little bit to what's better for you, and then put you on a few select supplements temporarily to help downregulate some of the SNPs that are being addressed. So a SNP is a single nucleotide polymorphism. So it's a genetic mutation.
Nice. Yeah.
And so when we decrease the stress, all of a sudden that gene doesn't have to be expressed. You're not a victim to your DNA, right? Something has to bring about that expression, some sort of stress. In emotional stress, we know that our thoughts can cause DNA to be expressed. We're not going to change our actual DNA coding, but we can change the expression of the gene. So our emotions can cause that expression. Inflammatory foods, different stress, not getting enough sleep, all these different factors can cause that gene to be expressed.
Right. And so, as I've learned as well, I mean, it's science-based nutrition, right? So meaning that you can have the APOE4 gene for, I think that's, for Alzheimer's, right? Yeah. You can have any gene for anything, for arthritis, what have you, but it will not express itself unless you give something to ignite it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, totally. So, so now Courtney's saying avocados are toxic for my bird, so I have to be careful using that kind of oil. So, I've been to your
avocado oil.
Yeah, so you don't have to feed the bird avocado oil, and your bird's in another room. So as long as you're eating it, and we use avocado oil here, and we actually eat avocado. So as long as the bird's not eating it, you're fine. Anything you want to add to that, Stephen? Or
no, I mean, you don't have to even use it. Just use coconut oil. It's fine.
Yeah, and yes, do that too. And then what do we have here? She says, Teddy, cold pressed organic Tunisian olive oil is the highest in balanced omegas and bottled olive. I don't know that oil.
Yeah, that you have to be careful buying your olive oil. You have to know the source where it's coming from if you're going to use olive oil. First of all, like we said, you don't want to cook with it, but you have to be careful where you're getting it because there's so many fake imposter oils out there right now.
Yes,
you can buy organic olive oil and it may not even be real.
Yeah. And if you want to learn how to first of all, you want to do sourcing, and that's a big part of what I do in my show, in my functional food program. So in the program, we are going to have a list of, all the organic farmers, places where you can source foods, people who are testing these foods, so that you are empowered to fish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
What's actually funny is a lot of the drug cartels are actually involved in the olive oil business.
Well, not a surprise.
Because there's so much money in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's more money in olive oil than there is in the drug trade. So they're involved in it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of fake olive oil that's out there.
Yeah. Tons
You're
of
not
it.
buying what you think you're buying.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So let me run to commercial real quick here. We've got Willie Nelson and his. So we'll do that first.
Crime in Chicago continues to increase. Community and politicians must come together to make a change. No one person can solve these problems by themselves, but I believe together we can make progress. Let's provide job training, economic growth, and invest into our 77 communities. Let's rebuild and restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of Chicago. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Hi, I'm Jodi Suson with Suson Essentials. I started Suson Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Suson Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses, and we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Suson Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing.
All right, enough of the commercials. We got two in. We're good. So let's take our first caller. And unless is there anybody on the chat, let me just say this. So if you want to call in, it's 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak and to ask your question. Now, the second thing is if, for whatever reason, calling in, I know there were some people from Australia and the UK last week. So if you don't want to call into the show because it's a long distance call, no worries. Put your question in the chat and we can help you there too. So, and I will take 779-801. And if you could let us, and we're just trying to, there we go.
Long distance calls. What are those now? Doesn't everybody just use a cell phone?
Well, so I think when you're in the UK though, or in another,
yeah. I can call people in other countries.
Oh, you can. I think is there an extra fee for that though?
You know what? You're right. Yeah, you know what? Because when somebody's from another country, I always use WhatsApp.
Yes. Oh, that's a great idea. So interesting. So we'll try to put that into place on the next show. So who's calling from 779-801? You're live. Welcome to Self Care.
Good morning. This is Maika. I live in a world of acceptance, infinite love, and gratitude.
Yay!
Greetings to you, Dr. Steven, and you too, Jodi. Jodi, you're just glowing.
I said the same thing.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy. I'm
We can see you.
Thank you. I just feel really good. What can I tell you? Yeah, thank you. So
It's all over your face. Dr. Steven, I would like work on my left hip. It's paining me when I walk and create lip. You do a little work on it. And I need some subconscious programming to move my body more, exercise more often.
Okay, so you're lacking motivation?
Yes.
Okay. And I got you in the spotlight there.
All right, so let's do this, Maika. So first thing I want you to do for me is I want you to put your one hand on your forehead for me, okay? And when you put in, you doing that? You doing what I'm doing? Can you see me? Maika, can you see me? Did I lose you?
I don't know. Let me check that back, Ed. Maika, did we lose you? Are you putting your hand on your forehead?
Both hands or one?
One.
Just one hand.
Yeah, one hand.
Okay.
I don't think she can see you at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. So here we're doing what we're doing here is we don't have a resonance. So we're gonna harmonize your mind to your body. Infinite love and gratitude. We're gonna pick your hand up, put it back, and we're good. Maika, pick your hand up off your forehead, and I want you to put it back. Good. So we're connecting your mind to your body, which your mind and your body are connected. Right? We're tuning the instrument. We want the instrument to be tuned with the universe so it's ready to receive. And so now what I want you to do, Maika, is I want you to take your finger and I want you to point down to the ground for me. We're going to connect you to the earth. We're going to make sure that you're grounded. So we're going to check, is the spirit connected to the earth? Mind connected to the earth? And body is connected there. So good job, Maika. You're connected to the earth. Let's go check to make sure you're connected to the universe, Maika. So I want you to take your hands and I want you to put them in front of your body. And I'm in a prayer mudra, just like this. Okay, and we're going to check, all right, is your spirit, universe, mind, universe, body to universe. Good, we're connected. All right, good. So are you still there, Maika? Can you hear me?
I'm here, yeah. I would like,
Okay.
I was thinking I want to get off the phone and get on Facebook because I can hear you better on Facebook. Can I do that, Jodi?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll just text back, like, so we know where you're at, right? Like, so try to engage on that. Is that okay?
Say that one more time.
So when to engage with us, just put comments in the thread so we know that you've got what we're sharing. Is that good?
Okay, I can do that.
All right.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure. So I'll close off this mic. All right.
Okay, good.
All right. So there we go. All right. So, Maika, go ahead and put a, she says she's on Facebook, so we got her now. So go ahead.
Great. All right. Maika, you said it was your right hip, correct?
Yeah, but that was it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to put your hand on your right hip. And when when I put my hand on your right hip here, it goes, and we have a weak muscle response. So we're just going to harmonize that and say infinite love and gratitude. So it's called a body portal. And we're going into that because there's an energy leak going on in your right hip. And
okay,
so
actually, she's actually saying it's her left hip. I thought I heard her say right.
I thought she did too. But her right hip was leaking energy too. But we'll do both.
So overcompensating.
Infinite love and gratitude will do her left hip too. Infinite love and gratitude. Good. Maika, what I want you to do is I want you to stand in place and I want you to march and I want you to move. Okay? And so she's doing that. And then we're showing up a body portal, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. Good. Maika, I want you to keep marching. All right, that stays strong. And then we're going to do something we're actually going to have you go to certain positions. I want you to lean down and try to touch your toes. All right. Do a stretch, try to touch your toes. Infinite love and gratitude. Awesome. Stand up again. And I want you to march in place for me. Okay. Go ahead. Now I want you to stretch down. I want you to touch your toes again. We're good there. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to sit down. Can you sit down on the floor and do like sit Indian style or like butterfly style, kind of like you're almost meditating? Are you able to do that, Maika?
Let me see. Mike, She's doing that.
All right, okay, good. Infinite love and
I'll
gratitude.
be your ears for this. Yeah.
Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Good. Other positions, no. And now I'm going to do something. I'm just going to rub the hips. We're going to get the energy in Chinese medicine. They call it qi, prana, and Ayurvedic. It's just stuck, stagnant emotion, right? Energy, emotion is energy in motion. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. So we're going to keep rubbing the hip. And their emotion, no. Metaphysical, no. Cool. So that was simple and easy. We're going to run the portal on it. So we're going to ask, is it emotional? Is it biochemical? Yeah, we have a biochemical imbalance within Maika's body. Infinite love and gratitude, the biochemical imbalance from the mind, your thoughts. Infinite love and gratitude. So it's kind of funny, when we talk, she's like, oh, I lack the motivation. And, I don't know why I can't stick to my diet. And the hips speak a language, right? So it's almost like she's not moving her hips. She's not free. Right, she's got herself in prison. She's not moving forward. So that's all that was. So doing this body portal is going to open that right up. So we have this biochemical imbalance that's from her thoughts. So infinite love and gratitude, the thoughts that you internalized, denied, disconnected from. So you disconnected from the thoughts that aren't allowing the energy to flow through fire, earth, metal, water, wood element. Infinite love and gratitude, wood element. Is it the liver? Yes. Infinite love and gratitude, Shen. So the liver needs to feed into the sex organs. Infinite love and gratitude, the liver feeding your sex organs. And when the liver and the wood element deals with branching out, it's like the oak tree. The oak tree stands solid in the wind. It doesn't sway, it doesn't move, and it just branches out. But it branches out and it needs to flow into that fire element and rise up to its ultimate potential. But it becomes stagnated when we disconnect or internalize our thoughts because they're too painful. The energy stops flowing in our body. It starts to speak symptoms like hip pain. And so when it does that, it becomes expressed structurally. Infinite love and gratitude, structure, specific. Bones, cartilage, ligaments, muscles. Infinite love and gratitude, muscles. Any other structure, yeah. Bones, cartilage, ligaments, muscles, joints, organs, fascia, lymphatic circulation, nerves, muscles and nerves. Infinite love and gratitude, the muscles and nerves in this where? Specific. Hip, head, neck, upper stomach, torso, abdomen, pelvis. Infinite love and gratitude. So you have muscles and nerves in your pelvis that are holding on to this emotion of wood, fire, loss, fight for joy, not sure, not thinking, abandoned, deserted, absent-mindedness, infinite love and gratitude. Absent-mindedness, infinite love and gratitude. So when I bring up being absent-minded, not being mindful, I want you to connect with not being mindful, the absent-mindedness. And I want you to play a movie in your mind of that absent-mindedness, and however you can relate with that. Right? It doesn't matter wherever, whomever, whatever it is that comes to your mind, whatever you associate with that absent-mindedness, I want you to just connect with that. I want you to play that movie in your mind. And let me know when you have that. Infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. There we go. Good. Absent-mindedness and emotion, expression channel, emotion, structure, biochemistry, fed, drained. So you have a toxic amount of emotion there that needs to be drained. Infinite love and gratitude. And the wood element, it's resentment, it's anger, it's galled, it's stubborn, emotion pressed, indecisive, irrationality, frustration. So Maika, you're holding on to frustration. Infinite love and gratitude, the frustration. And we're going to do the same thing as we do with the absent-mindedness. I want you to connect to the frustration. And I want you to play the movie in your mind to the frustration that you feel. And the frustration actually affects the lungs. Infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. Maika, I want you to take a big breath in for me. And we're just going to let go of that frustration. Let it all out. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Frustration. And their emotion, expression channel, holding pattern, mind, body, spirit. Infinite love and gratitude to your spirit. So the holding pattern is in the spirit. In the spirit, we go into the quantum realm. So what we do is we go into particles and waves. In this case, it's a particle. Our particles are our neurotransmitters, our hormones, our digestive enzymes, and immune factors that vibrate on a specific frequency. They draw in the resonance in the form of waves, pulling in what we think, because everything that happens in front of us is just playing a movie. And the people in our lives and everything else are just playing a movie of what we actually think. So what we are going to do is we're going to harmonize the rapid eye movement pattern of where you're not processing the frustration. And so what we're going to do is we're going to check to see, is it when you go in? No, it's when you go to the right. So every time you look to the right, it creates a stress response, bring about that frustration through your REM sleep, not processing it through the sleep pattern. So what we're going to do is go left, go back right, and we're just going to keep following it until we harmonize that. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. So I'm doing it for you. I'm the medium, and I'm basically just tapped into your spirit doing this. Infinite love and gratitude. We got one more pattern because we usually have 4. Infinite love and gratitude. There it is. Any other patterns? No. Anything else in the body? No. Anything else in the holy pattern? No. And we always go through. We go up the chakra system to find out where we need to close up the portal. And if we did it right, we're always at the top. Infinite love and gratitude. We close it out at the crown and we seal it in. And now what I want you to do is I want you to just march in place for me.
Okay.
And I want it now that you're moving, I want you to tell me how do your hips feel?
Okay, let's look for her response.
You can get back on the phone now, Maika. I know you could hear better on Facebook, but you can get back on the phone now.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you feel after we ran through that energy portal. After we made that shift in consciousness.
You know, I might just give her a call. Let me just do that.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. Yeah. Oh wait, here she is. Never mind. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Maika.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you, beautiful?
They feel looser. The left hip feels looser. It's not as painful as it was. I'm moving it around and I'm not feeling any pain, and I'm walking now. And I don't have
but you still have a little pain there?
Say that again?
You still have some pain there?
It feels just a little achy, that's all.
Okay, well, hold on. Well, who are you pissed off at?
Oh, herself.
Herself? Yeah, okay. So cool. So, the bladder deals with hip flexion. And so, the fact that you're pissed off, we just want to pull that out, right? And what do we just work on today, right? It's the intention we set today was fully embracing, accepting our own uniqueness, not judging yourself. So I don't need to judge myself. I'm here for a purpose. I belong, and I'm ready to embrace the divine light within inside me. Good. We shifted that. Now, Mike, you can check out your hips again. Now we shifted that out. That take care of it?
That took care of it.
There you go.
Well, it's a little shift on the right hip now. There's a little achiness on the right hip now. The left hip seems to be fine.
Yeah, there's no emotion that's stuck in there. The rest of that's going on, you just need to find a guy like me that can take care of the mechanical issue that's being manifested in there. So yes, all you had to do is go on abcmiracles.com and you find a doctor in your area. You live by me, don't you?
She's in the Chicago. Well, she's
Say
in the
that one
Chicago
more time.
area.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Well, so
I said you live in the area. You need to go. I said you need to go to abcmiracles.com and find a doctor in your area. You know, they can take care of the structural stuff that's going on to knock this thing out. But
Okay,
but you're in my area, so
last weekend, there's nothing showing in the X-ray.
Yeah. I know there's still mechanical issues. It's part of the aging. It's part of the process of living here. We get these adhesions on the spinal cord, and these adhesions, you know, they're meningeal adhesions. There's 3 layers of the spinal cord, and they adhere together. And there's lots of different structural techniques out there, but they're inconsistent and they're not predictable with producing the results. So when you look at the photos on my website of the patients that I see and why I consistently and predictably correct 100% of orthopedic issues, it's because I'm moving things in a different direction than what everyone else is. And so I'm pulling apart these dural adhesions that happen as we've aged that other people aren't addressing, that branch out in our skull like a spider web and shift our bodies. And then after we slacken the cord, we create space so that the bones can go back and your body completely starts to unwind apart. So these people you see with their poor posture, head stuck forward, that's correctable and preventable. There is zero, and it's very easy to do. You just have to show up in the office. But you don't have to be like the people in the nursing home that are stuck forward on a walker, right? You get neurological inhibition and muscle weakness because the nerve has become stretched. And it doesn't just affect our posture, it also affects our physiology. So the neurological system is impacted because when we stretch nerves, they lose function, but also mechanically, because if you're collapsed on the lungs and the heart, it affects your cardiac output and your oxygen intake. And what do we need oxygen for? It's necessary to convert into making antioxidants, right? It's part of the chemical reaction to make antioxidants. So we take in more oxygen because our chest is lifted, our ribs can lift. If our ribs can't lift, we can't take in oxygen. If you're collapsed, it's pushing down on the intestines, and then that's pushing down on all the sex organs and everything of that nature. So 60% of prostate issues are actually related to mechanical issues. A lot of these problems that people have actually be solved through correcting posture, and nobody else is addressing it correctly. And it's amazing to watch people's life and health transform without even going to their emotional problems, and actually correcting their structure. When their bodies pop up, it takes all that tension off the brainstem, and it's amazing to watch people's lives transform. One, because their body's a better tuned instrument and aligned with the universe because the meridians open up and the chakras do, but also just because when you feel better and you don't have physical pain in your body, you actually want to be productive.
It's really, really true. I mean, the body doesn't heal unless the spine is aligned. It's just that simple.
Well, it's in here, the old chiropractic dermatome model where it says this organ's related to, or this joint is related to, or this level vertebrae is related to this organ and gland, and this one, it's all bullshit. It's a great theory. And so there's a saying, the greatest tragedy in science is a slaying of a beautiful theory by an ugly fact. And there's a lot of dogma that's all just needs to go. And the issue is not that it's that level vertebrae is a subluxation, right? It's not a subluxation that's pinching a nerve and causing disruption in the nervous system. It's actually that the nerve is stretched because the bone went forward. So the bone goes forward, tips forward and slightly rotates, which stretches the nerve. And when we stretch nerves, they lose function.
Yes.
So the thing of it is you could have a subluxation down here and move that, not have a big impact. It changed your mechanics maybe, but the issue is that there's actually the nerve is stretched, the bone's gone forward and rotated. And so it's the stretching of the nerve. And that was from Alfred Brega, a neurosurgeon from Europe, adverse tensions on the cord. So you know,
Dr. Steven, it's not only the stretching of the nerve, but then also that stuck energy.
Well, it depends on where the stretch of the nerve is. So wherever the tension is on the nerve is where you're going to have dysfunction.
Yeah.
It's not. It has nothing to. I mean, the bone is like secondary. It's the stretching of the nerve that's the primary issue that's causing the dysregulation in the nervous system and the dysfunction of the organ and gland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 9:04. We need to go to a quick commercial. We have a couple of people asking for healing. Someone, a couple of people on the radio side as well. So Maika, I'm so excited that you got great results. I'm going to turn off your mic here. If there's anything you want to say real quick before I turn off the mic and go to commercial.
I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to go back and listen to basically what you were saying because I couldn't really understand you on the phone. But thank you so much, Dr. Stephen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
God bless.
Love and gratitude.
All right, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go to quick commercial here.
Our kids now the future should not be left behind. One person should not decide what is the best for our 77 communities. Politicians must work together for our kids' best interests. They deserve a safe education with resources that meet every student need. Let's rebuild and restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of Chicago. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Suson Essentials leads you to wellness by giving you access to more than 20,000 sustainably produced nutritional products delivered direct to your door. With a Place of Peace pop-up from Suson Essentials, you are able to increase productivity, mental acuity, leaving you with higher energy and peace in just 20 minutes. We pop up at our office or yours.
Okay, so I'm going to take the person on Blog Talk first because I think they were calling. So and I think it's actually out of country number because it's coming up as all ones. So hold on. So welcome to Self-Cell Care with Dr. Stephen Spencer. We're doing remote healings today in the subconscious mind. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Well, good morning and giving honor to God, first of all. My name is Dr. Leroy Brown, like the song Leroy Brown. I'm a forensic psychologist. Now, I was raised in Chicago, but I'm calling from Alabama, where my folks are from, down at Mobile, the great state of Alabama, the Bible Belt, where folks believe in Bible, beans, and bullets down south. So the reason I'm calling is I was trying to hear, like Maika said, the last caller, it's hard to hear, a fragment. So your energy and communication coming through the phone are really fragmented. And it's like every other word you say, you might miss say 5 and 1 might come through. But on the subject of energy healing, I've worked with some energy healers and talked with, because they studied that in the military, because in the psychology department, we did in the military, just like if you cook or you a paramedic or you a surgeon, that's what you train to do. So in the military, they have a mission. Sometimes they may have to kill. So people train to do that. And they have a lot of psychological issues and a lot of energy that's pent up. And we've been trying to work on that. We have remote energy healing and all those things. So I've been, and I studied Reiki myself. But what my question, Dr. Spencer, is you said your name is Dr. Spencer. What type of doctor are you? Did you say?
I'm a naturopath.
A naturopath, okay, okay, very good, okay, because you see, and what you're talking about when you talk about the anatomy and the issues and things that cause the issues, you're very astute and on point. But my question is because when I met Latif at Operation Push, it was about solutions. So the solutions in the community, how can this be taken to the community? Because yesterday I heard a gentleman named MacArthur, he was attacked. I felt angry energy from the women on the phone because they were talking about homelessness. A lady was talking about homelessness. Hey, she wanted to talk about her struggles and trying to get the church to help her and the community to help her. Nobody helped her. And she got negative energy from people that even she tried to help. We see this going on a lot in the Black community. So what I want to do is ask you and Jodi, would you come to Chicago? I'll be in Chicago, and would you take this to the street so we can see how we can heal these problems and this negative energy, this homelessness problem, when people sleep on the bridges, all this crime in the communities, and this murder and all this dysfunctional behavior, especially in the Black community. So I wonder if so, because Jodi called in yesterday and talked about energy.
So, Dr. Leroy?
And she said she wanted to do homelessness. I want to take it to the street and see, can we go to the heart of the street, to Chicago, the big city, one of the big cities, because the crime is bad everywhere. And then see, can we do some energy healing and see, can we help the people?
So I've already volunteered to do that. I'm going to be piped in remotely with Zelda Robinson, who's our Monday host. So
you know what, the biggest way to make a change go ahead, Leroy.
No, I was just wondering, can you get the same results remotely? Because it sounds like a lot of it. Because when you talk about things like this, to some people, it may sound infinite love and gratitude and all this. It may sound like a nice utopian idea or utopian theory. But when it comes to practice and how it can be in the community and how it can help people at the grassroots level solution to these problems we're having.
So what we have to understand,
let's let Dr. Stephen speak. Go ahead, Dr. Stephen.
So Leroy, I can tell you're really passionate about.
Let him speak. I was going to let him speak.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So Leroy, I can tell you're really passionate about making a difference. And what we want to be cautious of is, there's that saying, when you feed a man to fish, he eats for a day. When you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And so we want to be really cautious with not enabling people, not just giving them things. And so when we do this, what we want is we can absolutely make a shift in consciousness of anyone and everything around us. And people have free will to choose their own path. And the way that you make a difference is by stepping into your own light and being an example and showing others the way. You can't help people by enabling them and just speaking them. You have to be the example and encourage them to follow your lead, because most people are not leaders. They are followers, and they will follow by example. So if they're in a community with a lot of hatred and they're born of a family of hatred, they're born with those thought viruses. They're learned from their peers, right? So the biggest way you make a difference is you find people that want to follow your lead. So by you being a strong male example in that community, you can make a difference. You just have to be your authentic self and show up wanting to help them. Right? Not
well said, brother. Thank you for that answer. Well said. And I just want to focus, and I still want to give that challenge to Jodi, to come to Chicago and meet and shake hands and look at folks' eyes and show us how we can do this, so we can take it on and spread it out and pay it forward.
So I'm not sure that I'll be able to step into Chicago. Zelda will be there, and then she will pipe me in. It's a long drive for me. It's, I think, like 15 hours to drive out there. And I do work full time.
Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Georgia.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you don't mind.
No, it's okay. I'm in Georgia.
So you got in Georgia, the Peach State.
I am. But Zelda and I already have this commitment created. And, I do most of, I would say I do 95% of the healing that I do remotely. So, and it's very effective. And, I understand this, my heart, and I believe that many people who are unhoused or homeless, they are empaths.
They're choosing that path, right? They have consciously chosen that path. Now they can basically consciously unchoose that, right? But it's the unconscious things that allow them to choose that. So they have the absolute power to do that, and the universe will keep pushing them to do it and make life hard and challenging and everything else as they go along their path. But that's
it's not just the homeless. I don't mean to interrupt you, Dr. Spencer. It's not just the homeless. We're talking about all the issues, other issues. The lack of love, the lack of empathy, the lack of gratitude, and I'm speaking of really all over America, but really it's really hit the urban.
It's not America. It's the entire world, and we can't expect to make a difference. We can't expect to make a difference. So in time,
if the people in those communities are upset about that, then I don't know what to say, because they should be upset about their communities and their surroundings and their environment. When most of the people who can and have the wherewithal finances, they leave their communities and go someplace else. It could be just a whole total new place. They don't even know where it is. Just get out their community and get away from the blight and all of the I don't even know what word they call it. The blight and just the depressed state of things. The depressed. I don't know. It's
Dr.
just
Leroy Brown.
So Leroy, it sounds to me like you have a lot of passion for this, and this is your calling, and you want to you're trying to find answers on how to make the community change. And so my calling, I'm living in it, is seeing patients, helping them one-on-one. I'm extremely busy with patients. I help out. I get on Jodi's show. I work with people for free. I see other patients in my office that don't have the financial means occasionally and help out. There's a lot of charitable things that I do to give back as well, because I understand that not everybody can afford it. But I think what you're looking for as an answer is can you fulfill your mission? And there's frustration there because you feel like you're failing and you haven't made a big enough difference. And so you want to make a difference. And I'm going to give you a suggestion. You don't have to do it if it doesn't feel right. But one of my mentors is Darren Weissman. And Darren Weissman wrote a book called The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude. He teaches a course called the Lifeline Technique, which gives you a lot of the tools and things that I know. It's not everything, but it gives you a lot of the tools to make a gigantic impact in the community around you and the people in your lives, and put the power back within them to change their own lives. And through that, once a person changes their own life, they'll be able to influence others. It becomes a ripple effect, right? It's a total ripple effect. It just takes a small pebble to make those to eventually transform into waves. So I would go to infiniteloveandgratitude.com. And I would look up Darren Weissman, and I would strongly recommend taking his course, because you will be able to have many of the tools that I have to make an impact in those people's lives.
Well, I appreciate that information, that bibliography, but I'm 56 years old, going on 57, and so I'm not frustrated with my efforts. I'm frustrated with man and woman, how we treat each other.
I understand, but there's a part of you that right. But but here's the
I'm a melon.
Leroy,
and division in the world right now. Can't even have a conversation about politics without somebody hating the other person or telling the other person they're crazy or dismissing them.
Send love their way,
That's the anger
Leroy.
and evil in the world I'm talking about.
Leroy, but you're angry and you're upset, Leroy.
Somebody wants to have that conversation. Somebody wants to have that conversation. Everybody wants to feel something.
Okay, so we're gonna pause. We're gonna Leroy, breathe. Really, just breathe in, real quick. Let's breathe in, everybody. Let's bring homeostasis.
I'm inhaling some weed right now. I'm breathing some weed in right now. I'm inhaling right now.
Okay.
That's my medicine. That's my medicine from the earth. God, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 through 32.
So I'm really grateful for you calling.
Now when I speak, you interrupt me rudely. When I speak, you interrupt me rudely. When I speak about the herbs and plants that I'm using, you interrupt me rudely. But then when you, oh my God. So there's what.
Okay. So I don't want to bring that energy into the show. And Dr. Leroy, I apologize that I had to cut off your mic, but we really, first of all, the one thing that I've learned in my lifetime is that what you're trying to achieve starts with yourself, and you have to have radical responsibility for who you are and how you show up. And when you are radically responsible for who you are, that's where people then around you change, because you change. They didn't really do anything different. They just showed up differently for you because you came into the world with a different energy. You want to add anything to that, Dr. Stephen?
No, it's exactly right. The world around you is a reflection of what's inside you. So if you see the world as painful, and look, we wouldn't know without darkness, we wouldn't know light, right? We wouldn't have the contrast to know. But when you are focused on that, everything around you becomes that. And I know because I was in that path where I looked at all the negativity and all the bad things around me, and then everything around me was negative like that. And as soon as you decide that you're going to be the difference and you don't care who comes on the path with you or not, you know you're making a difference because my world is completely different.
Same here.
And when there is negativity that shows up in my life, it doesn't even throw a charge in me.
Yeah.
I just understand. Yes. Yeah. It doesn't even throw a charge. It doesn't even make me
glowing today, Stephen.
Yes.
Because
right.
I've been on the path I'm 58 years old, right? I'm older than him. And I'm constantly feeding my mind with new information to help me raise my own consciousness. And I then attract more people with a higher level of consciousness as well. And, I have told people, no names necessary, but I've told people either you're either with me or you're not. And if you don't want to follow, I'm okay. This is where I'm going. And I'll love you anyway, but I'm going over here, and it's amazing. They shift because because we're bringing love and light.
Right.
And that means when you bring love and light, it means you have to be willing to stand in spite of other people's misery.
Right. You're Daniel in the Lion's Den.
Yeah.
Just sheer absolute faith.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been working on. I live by faith.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give an example. So my husband and I, we're twin flames, and we had issues. We really have very minuscule issues now. I will tell you that. They're really minuscule. But we had a lot of issues when we were dating. And I would pray to God. I'm like, am I really supposed to be doing this? Like, yes. Am I really supposed to be doing Yes. So on faith, I kept on sticking with the relationship, and I'm glad I did because he's the best man for me in my life. And, he's a blessing, and he teaches me every day. And he either teaches me by his greatness and the things that he does, or sometimes he does something not so good, but it teaches me how to coach him around it, like to be a contribution. And it's not a big deal if something kind of that's goes awry. It just it's a lesson, and we tweak ourselves so we don't have to have that lesson anymore, like that.
Yeah.
And I know that you and I both taught him about these are lessons, not like you don't have to beat yourself up.
It's a lesson, it's a lesson, not a prison sentence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? Like whatever so I know everyone's listening. So whatever mistake you made this week or today or yesterday, I'm hearing this. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, good job. I feel whoever that person is. And give yourself grace. And remember, it's a lesson that you get to learn from and move forward. Okay, breathe in deep again, because someone out there. Breathe in deep and transmute the self-hatred. There you go. Transmute that to God. Transmute that to our infinite, incorruptible source, and replace with God's divine white light. Okay, that's done. All right, so we have a lot of questions up here. Like the board lit up. And it's 9:24. Is there anything you want to add to that before we?
No, we got about another half hour, right?
Yeah. So we
Yeah,
have, how about this? So, Dr. Spencer, I'd like some help in clearing up issues with my sinuses that I developed in the last few days. This is Pamela Gatson. She's,
Okay.
yeah. And so just had to double check my reading there. But woo, go ahead.
Okay, so sinuses always deal with frustration. Every single time they deal with frustration. This isn't even a mechanical thing. Like a lot of people's sinus problems are mechanical, and I do a procedure with a balloon that goes up in the nasal concha, pushes the nasal concha out, opens up the passageway there, changes the cranial structure. But that's not even showing up. So we just got that frustration that's there. So if I touch it, I do a body portal there. That doesn't even show up. But if I say the word frustration, that shows up. So Pamela, first thing we're going to do is make sure that that you're connected. So when I check mind to body on you, Pamela, you're connected. Body to mind. We're checking both, and you're connected. We're going to check, are you connected to the earth? So we're going to point down to the ground. We're going to check spirit to earth, mind to earth, body to earth. Now what we're going to do is check universe to spirit, universe to mind, universe to body. And Pamela is completely aligned, and her instrument is tuned. So we're going to go ahead and go into that. And we're going to go into the frustration, input, love, and gratitude, frustration, input, love, and gratitude, frustration. And so Pamela, when you think about being frustrated, what is it that frustrates you?
So we'll wait for her to reply. I spoke to her yesterday. We met on Sunday at the speaking engagement. So I can't, speak on her behalf until she.
I want to know what's frustrating Pamela.
Yeah. Let me see if she is still on. I'm going to send her a private text.
Okay.
Okay, so I just sent her a text. And I'm being called. Should we move on or no? I'm hearing we should move on.
She's not there. She disappeared?
I think she may have. And Philip is there, and he says, can you take all of us on a process to stop taking on other people's issues unintentionally?
That's an individual thing, right? So, you should not take on other people's issues. And the best way to take this is you cannot take on other people's issues if you choose not to take on their belief systems. So it's just like I said earlier, I said a man who knows himself well is protected by a sheet of armor the devil cannot penetrate. Oh, Pamela says she's there. But Patrick, I mean, that's an individual basis. We don't want to take on other people's stuff. We do that when someone gives you a thought virus and you choose to believe it. So someone says, calls you a name, they tell you you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, and you, on some level from 3 years old, dad said that, and then you took that on. Or somebody says you can't be successful. Choose not take on their belief systems. So just like I said earlier, I said man who knows himself well is protected by you.
Hold on. So Pamela, I was going to bring you on Blog Talk. I see your number, but what we need you to do is lower the volume or mute your computer where you're watching this, okay, so that we don't have feedback. All right, we can give it another shot. All right.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, there she is. Awesome. Hi, Pamela.
Hello.
Hi, Pamela.
Can you hear me?
We can. Can you hear us?
Yes. Hi, Jodi and Dr. Spencer. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not sure what I'm frustrated about, but I think I'm more frustrated because I've been trying to get my business going, and since the pandemic, it sort of like throw me back, and I've needed.
Well, the frustration that you're feeling now is the same frustration that you're feeling since you were 8 years old. So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to when you're 8 years old. What was frustrating about being 8? 8 years old, 5 years old is kindergarten, right? So 6, 7, that's like third grade. What happened in third grade that was frustrating?
Yes. I think probably maybe something happened in school. Is that going to school maybe, for what I can think of right now?
So you have a belief system that's there. Life is a struggle, right? And so if your belief system is that life is a struggle, then life is always going to be a struggle everywhere you turn, right? So because every time you say life is a struggle, man, that tests positive. So we need to transform that. How do you want your life to? You don't want life to be a struggle. Well, how do you want it to be frustrating? So how do you want your life to operate?
I want it to operate really with ease and joy and glory. And I do want to put the struggle aside, because I feel like I have been struggling taking care of others, and now I want someone to take care of.
So what do you want to happen with ease? What are you trying to accomplish with your business?
Not to have financial secure and to live comfortably without struggling and enjoy life more. Oh, something went wrong.
Oh no, we're here. He's writing. Nothing's wrong, Pamela. We're all good.
I thought maybe we're having bad weather here. So
I know we're having bad weather.
But it's not financial that you're looking to achieve. It's the acknowledgement. There's a party that's looking to be seen. So it's like there's a struggle there that to be recognized and be seen. It's not money. It's not money is not the thing. Your issue is not money. It's being seen, being acknowledged, and the money is what would you feel on a subconscious level. You would feel would make you be seen. So what we want to do is just say my life is filled with joy, or my life is filled with joy, being seen and acknowledged. Because nobody's going to acknowledge you. Nobody's going to pay you for your services. Right? If nobody will give you money if you be seen. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. You're not worthy of being seen. So I want you to say, I'm worthy of being seen.
Okay. I want to be seen. Yes. I'm afraid to get out in the public.
Yeah, there we go. That was where it was at. It was being able to be acknowledged and seen. It was all coming from 8 years old. And so once it's transformed, emotional, biochemical, structural, spiritual. So it causes spiritual imbalance, infinite love and gratitude from your thoughts, infinite love and gratitude, your thoughts that you deny. Deny those thoughts at 8 years old that cause fire, earth, metal, water, wood element not to flow. So it caused that wood element in Chinese medicine to flow through the Shen, the Ko, the Wo. So the liver didn't connect to the gallbladder. So you can't branch out and grow. You can't stay solid like the oak tree. And that wood element standing firm in that. And because there's a part of you from 8 years old that didn't want to be seen. And it becomes expressed as a thought virus. So it's a trigger limiting killer thought virus. So a killer thought virus is a combination of trigger and limiting. Trigger is an experience happens and it recalls you, brings you back to 8 years old, puts you back in the frustration. Limiting is what holds you back from what your actual mission work or your sacred duty is here. So limiting just, you want to you want to be able to express and be able to rise up to what your soul has intended for you. But there's that frustration that's there that's holding you back, right? So in this now, we want to know what emotion is it that's there in that wood element. It's resentment, it's anger, it's gall, stubborn, emotion, oppressive, decisive, aggression, frustration, aggression, depression. So it's depression. So I want you to play the movie in your mind of depression. And I want you to just think about whoever, whatever comes to your mind. I want you to play the movie of the depression in your mind. In for love and gratitude. In for love and gratitude. In for love and gratitude. Good. Emotion expression channel. Holding pattern, body specific, element cells, organ glands, pathogen, element cells, organ glands, pathogen. So here we got some fungus that's there. So if I do this and I check here, we have fungus. It's in. Let's check there. There. All right, so that's in the stomach. So we're just going to integrate that anywhere else. Okay. Kidney. Good. So stomach and kidney, we integrated that. Now we'll check for any more fungus. No fungus in tissue. No, nothing else. So pathogens, body, element cells, organs, glands, pathogen sense systems, electromagnetic system, info level gratitude, systems, body, holding pattern. And we close that out, and I flew through this one. And now if I have you say my life is filled. Can you hear me? My life is filled.
I can hear you, but it's like a breaking up static.
Okay,
All
so
right.
you want to say.
All I want to do is say this. My life is filled with joy, being
My
seen and
life
acknowledged.
is hope.
Filled
No,
with
joy.
With my life is filled with joy,
being seen
to be seen
and acknowledged.
and acknowledged.
Yes. And so when we go into that, it tests strong now. And I want you to take a breath in through your sinuses. I want you to breathe. And I want you to tell me, is it less restrictive now? Did their sinuses open up?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So what it is it's that there was a lot of mold that was affecting that, but now your body can recognize that. I don't believe in the germ theory, and this is going to trigger a lot of people, but I don't believe in germ theory at all. It's complete nonsense. And again, it's the greatest tragedy in science is the slaying of a beautiful theory by an ugly fact. And pathogens like bacteria, viruses, mold, yeast, fungus, they exist. But the truth of the matter is that a pathogen cannot affect a host in the right vibrational frequency. Those things exist, but they don't affect us. So
What the germ theory is for people who might not know.
yeah, it's that the virus attacks you. But the virus can't attack you or hurt you if you're in the right energetic frequency. So the virus is there, and the pathogen or the bacteria is there to create awareness. It's a gift in strange wrapping paper.
Right.
These things live in our bodies. We're exposed to them. They just don't affect everybody. And the reason it affected you was because you are not in the right vibrational frequency. And the universe is just giving you this strange love and this gift of strange wrapping paper to reawaken you so that you can become who your soul was meant to be and what you came here to do.
Yeah.
So in that, you were at this frustration that was creating these symptoms in your life and allowing that fungus to overtake, restricting that, because in a place of fight or flight, all of a sudden now you have blockages in the left nostril. You can't breathe. If you're relaxed, your left nostril's open. If the right nostril's open, you're in fight or flight. So it's just.
Well, wait, the left nostril is open. You're
relaxed. If your left nostril is open, you are in the parasympathetic state. Your body's calm and it's relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what if the right nostril is closed, like blocked?
If right nostril is open, that's usually a sign that you're in fight or flight.
But what if the right one is blocked?
Well, if the right one's blocked and you're breathing through the left,
yeah,
that's it. They are in parasympathetic.
Okay, because it's interesting. Because when I sometimes when I get congested, I pray for easy breathing, right? And I just do what I need to do and it clears up. But where I can breathe, there's always is on the left.
Yeah, and that can work, but the more detailed we are, the better results we get.
All day.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we can get to the deep, deep root meaning, like you can pray for things, and prayer makes a difference, right? So for Leroy, he can pray, and that makes a difference. In someone's life, it will make a difference. It can make a shift, right? Because there's Buddhist monks that would get together, and they had, as they would meditate with their intention of creating world peace, there was periods of time when there was, and that's because those Buddhist monks were specifically focusing on that as their intention to make a difference. So yeah, prayer makes a huge difference, but the more precise we are and the more we understand why these symptoms happen, our intention, that's working from the heart, right?
Yeah, so I'll be more specific. Yeah, so I do pray for easy breathing, but I also ask for root cause, like what, because
right.
clear.
So that's where it comes. That's where you come from. So in this case where we had fungus, it was because of the frustration. We're getting to the detailed root of it, so it's going to be more. We're going to get more of an effect and positive effect than just praying, saying, I want easy breathing. I almost say this. I actually, it's 100% true. People want to talk about positive mental attitude, and this whole positive mental attitude thing has become a super toxic state of being, because what they do is they don't address any of the issues. They internalize, deny, and disconnect from their problems, put in their back of their mind, and they force life through the lower chakras of needs and wants. And they're searching for happiness externally, when the whole fact of the matter is what has to be done is the healing on a deep level has to be to open the heart and trust that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to, right? Not force life and forget things and pretend and say life is wonderful, life is wonderful, life is wonderful. But goddamn well, right? You don't feel that way.
Right. And let me do a yes and to that. So that is very true. And then there's a lot of people that say, well, that was the past. I don't want to talk or live in the past. But if you don't talk, if you don't talk about your past, like you are helping people with their past and transmute it, then you're still vibrating in that same frequency, getting what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So totally. Pamela, does that help you?
Yes. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you can breathe better. Now you can go. Now you can make some nitric oxide.
Yeah, there you go.
Breathing is a huge component of making nitric oxide, which is a major free radical. If we make enough nitric oxide, what will happen is first of all, a couple of things. One is it'll help neutralize peroxynitrate. It's antiviral, pathogenic, but also nitric oxide. If we have enough of it, if we have disruptions in our neurotransmitter cycle, there's enough of it to be spared that we can still function, neutralizing the free radicals, and it will push down and actually help make serotonin and dopamine, which converts to melatonin and will help you sleep. So breathing.
So that's a mouthful. I'm fast.
Yeah, I mean, nitric oxide is an important molecule.
Yeah, I actually have a product. I have a product which actually it's called BFF. It helps you make nitric oxide.
There's certain amino acids that are crucial to making nitric oxide. Citrulline, arginine, those things are absolutely essential to making it. But that's only a small component of it. We need oxygen. Yeah,
so I'll send this product to you in a link so that you can take a look at it, and because I would actually like your feedback. There's
lots of different things we can do to increase nitric oxide. Beetroot does, breath work can. I mean, there's lots of things that we can do to increase nitric oxide if we have disruptions in that pathway. But I always recommend people do not take arginine unless they know what they're doing, because in certain percentage of the population, people who take arginine actually will cause them to overmethylate and make more peroxynitrate. So it's just citrulline's a safer bet.
Citrulline. Okay.
Citrulline is a safer bet. Yeah, it doesn't have any ill side effects. It's actually, citrulline is probably the better solution for erectile dysfunction. increases blood flow.
Yeah. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to run a quick commercial and I'm going to do it fast. And I think it's like 30 seconds here. We're just behind.
Taxes are higher than ever. Every day, thousands of our residents leave Chicago to shop in Indiana. Jobs are being lost and businesses are relocating. Let's find a way to lower our taxes to encourage residents to continue living and shopping in our city. Let's rebuild. Let's restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of the city of Chicago, and I will work hard to find solutions that matter. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
All right. So let's see here. If Philip is still there, because I know what Philip's issue is. Philip, if you're still there, why don't you just put a post a comment real quick, and instead of us doing this for the collective, maybe
I could just pull this from Philip really quick, because it's just there's one person that's bothering him. And
I know who it is. Yeah.
He's allowed in, right?
Yeah.
We can just let that, and it's stifling him from speaking his truth. So we can just basically pull that out. It's actually got a rope around his neck, so we just pull that off.
Wow.
Do that, and then we'll fix. No, it's not affecting his lymphatics, but it's affecting the vagus nerve. So we can just fix the vagus nerve, so he's not in that fight or flight. It's just that one person they allowed in from a bad belief system at 1 to 10, 10, 15, 16, 17 years old. So the original occurrence was at 17. There was a curse. All right, so we have a curse that was there. And so that curse was just a bad belief system. It was like, somebody didn't want it, just wanted to have control over him. And that was the rope around the neck of him not being able to speak up and find his own power and find his own path. So once we pull out the curse, we got that. Good. Cool. So now, Philip, are you on the line right now?
I don't know that he's called in. Let me see.
I just lifted that one certain circumstance. That should be a lot better for him. His neck and his trap should feel a lot looser right now.
Yeah, and I was coughing up for him. That was what that coughing was.
Yeah, there was a curse that we lifted. Some early on, and there was that one individual that he allowed in. So that should actually do quite a good job.
Okay, so
I think he has an appointment with me, I think, in a few weeks. So we'll have to follow up on that. Yeah. And
I think that actually cleared that. At least it cleared a big part of it, because it came out of me. So, I tend to, cough it up or sneeze it out or, yawn it, things like that.
Good.
So well done. Thank you. And so let's see if there's any other.
But that's a lot of people's problem. A lot of people like to claim that they're an empath, and they say they're an empath, and they take on everybody's problems. And it's kind of funny when we look at what's going on with empathy, and a lot of people are say that that's what they value is empathy, and they say they're empaths. But the reality is they're only able to really feel their own pain. They don't. It's not really other people's. They think they're an empath because they're emotional, right? And so, but a true empath, feels for other people and wants to make a difference, and they do something about it. They actually go out there and take action. A narcissist doesn't take action,
right?
A narcissist, these people are empaths that say they are. They're not doing anything about it. How are you making a difference in the world? How do you want to show up? And so it's become very narcissistic. The empath is not what society is calling an empath. They're narcissists. And so an empath takes on other people's stuff and holds on to it, and they don't want to have other people feel that pain, so they do something. They take action.
Right, and that's thank you, right? Because that's a huge distinction, and I think we've made that distinction on the show once before, but there's never enough times that we can do that, because just I think that people that are standing up to lead others through their own journey, I have a family member, and it was probably 2 decades ago that this family member was bringing organic foods to events. She was bringing her own food, like when we had, joint family parties and stuff. And she never told, I didn't know anything about organics. I was sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I was not awake. And instead of sharing why it was so important to eat organic, meaning those, I think everyone who's on the show.
She was just worried about being judged. She didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but that doesn't make, and she considers herself empathic. She wasn't willing, after she had the knowledge, to share the wisdom.
Yeah.
Because she is afraid of her own shadow.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something though. I mean, you can eat organic all you want and get rid of the processed foods, but in that place of, she's obviously has some illnesses, right? And she's super paranoid about it.
Seriously.
Right. And since organic, she doesn't want the toxicity. But remember what I said about a person in the right energetic frequency can't be affected by a pathogen that goes the same as chemicals. Look at Wim Hof. The guy, Wim Hof, can drink toxic materials and doesn't even impact him, right? So he has the power to transform that. Anyway, what'll happen is you can eat, and we see this all the time. People, live poor lifestyles and live to be 110, and then you got the people that live this really clean lifestyle and exercise, and they die early on because they have a mental state of something that they were internalizing, denying, or disconnecting from.
Yeah, well, and so here's what I'm going to tell you.
Mind. So all of a sudden now that person who eats organic and lives a healthy lifestyle gets cancer. And it's like, well, how did that happen? Because they manifested in, because there's a part of them on all cancer, every single case of cancer. Now they won't want to hear this, and they're going to be in denial of it. That's why they have cancer. Every case of cancer on an emotional level deals with wanting a way out. A cancer cell is a cell's last chance at survival. It only lives. A cancer cell only survives on sugar. It doesn't utilize carbohydrate, it doesn't utilize protein, doesn't utilize fats well. And so that's that cell's last chance at survival. Just like that person is struggling to survive. There's something in their life they're not addressing that they don't feel like they can overcome, and life isn't worth living. On a subconscious level, they want to die.
I'm with you 100%. You helped me with my cancer, right?
Well, first of all, it's not your cancer because you don't own it.
What's that?
You don't own the cancer. It's not your cancer.
No, I don't own the cancer. Thank you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But the point is that we reversed it together. I did my part. You did your part. And we reversed that. And I disowned it, right? Because I didn't want to live. I didn't want to see what was happening to humanity. It was too much for my eyes to see. Right. And then I decided not to own that either, right? Because it's not mine to own.
Right.
Other people's choice in the matter.
Right. We don't have control over everyone. Everyone has free will. Right.
And Paula wants to say hello to you. She's a little frustrated this morning, as you can see. She's like, I want to say hi to Uncle Steven.
Yeah. Zeus is still sleeping.
Well, they got up. I was wondering if Zeus was going to come on.
I took him for a walk to go to the bath potty this morning, and he hasn't even. Zeus. Here he comes. Come here.
Come on, Zeus. Oh, and Phelan wants to say hi to Zeus. That's Zeus.
Here, buddy. Want to come up?
Oh, she's all excited now. She's like,
Here, come on. Oh, here he comes.
Hi,
Say hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. Hi, Zeus. Say hi to Piglet and Tinkerbell. Oh, hi, handsome.
He just woke up.
Oh my gosh, he's so handsome. So we worked. I went and I saw about 9 or 10 senior dogs that I worked on Saturday as a volunteer, and we did healing. One dog, Prancer, was not able to really prance, and on his left side. And when we completed our energy healing, he was running up and down the sidewalk. So it was with ease, with ease. So
yeah,
it was
I think Zeus is up. He's ready. He's ready for his beef tallow.
Yeah. So well, let me just say this. I want to go through gratitude because it's important to me, and I know it's important to you as well. So I just want to, first of all, from my heart, thank you. For the gifts that you give to me and my family, the gifts that you give to the world, your wisdom. And Andrew and I talk about you a lot to others. And the one thing that we say about you is, yes, how wise you are, but that you have no ego. And because you don't live in your ego, which makes you even more powerful and more beautiful as a human. So thank you for everything that you do.
You're welcome.
And I want to say thank you to all of our listeners today. So Chris, thank you for always being a huge contribution. Philip Shannon. We had Pamela here today. Maika, thank you for being here. Courtney. And then, a host of other people. Andrew, my husband, God forbid, I should forget that. Teddy June. She is a lot like we've been friends for 30 years. Lisa Anderson. I'm not going to try to do the middle name. Sorry, not qualified. And we just want to thank you for tuning in, being part of the show, and making what we do possible. So, anything else you want to add? Actually, yeah. Oh my goodness. Let me make sure. I have your information.
Don't forget Leroy if he's still listening.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Leroy, for showing, for tuning in and to the show and contributing, because you are a huge contribution to this world. We're grateful. If you need to get in touch with Stephen and you want to,
he can make a difference. He's frustrated because he feels he's not.
Yeah, and know that you are making a difference, and you did make a difference for people today on the show as well. Thank you, Stephen. This is how you get in touch with Stephen. So he's www.coachtouchrehab.com. The number is 847-372-8874. To get in touch with me, it's 847-738-0242. I'll put that in the scroll. So we love to be the conduit to help people heal themselves. So thank you. And anything you want to, what I want to do, we do have 2 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to keep this up here, and I'm going to show you this. So I would like you to talk to us about Prorova and the immune system. Okay. I'm going to put this back.
Yeah, I mean, this product is the solution that everyone has wanted for leaky gut. It's the bloat, indigestion, the gas, all the stuff that people are concerned about that comes from eating the highly processed standard American diet we're on today. And so the inflammation that's there produces a protein called SPLA. And so that SPLA is that inflammatory protein. APLA, which is derived from that product, we have a patented process. And when we make that product, it's the antibody to the inflammatory protein that tightens up those junctions, allows us to utilize our nutrients better. So much of the problem is we aren't absorbing a lot of our nutrients now because the damage has been done, and this reverses that, allows us to utilize more of the nutrients that we can consume, which is why people take that, and if we utilize the nutrients we're consuming, they just put on muscle and lose body fat without even trying. The bloat, the gas, and indigestion just disappears because it's stopping the permeable gut. There's not another product like it. Probiotics in some people can cause inflammation. Bone broth, glutamine cause inflammation. This product has no side effects and only reduces the inflammation related to SPLA. So you can order it. You can go to my website. You go to protouchrehab.com. You can order Pure Over Immune. And I think we should close out with what our intention was when we first started, right?
Yes.
And so you are all loved, smiling, contributing to others, living through the heart.
Amen. Amen.
Right.
Amen. To be it.
And we embrace and fully accept ourselves and our own uniqueness.
Yes.
And acknowledge each other and acknowledge ourselves. We're all acknowledged.
Amen. 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 So be it. And so it is. So I'm going to make a clip of this show.
Okay.
So you have this. I just also want to add one other thing. So I've taken this. I took it for about almost 2 months. It makes your nails grow like crazy. Your hair go like
hair, skin, nails. When you reduce the body's ability, or actually, when you reduce the inflammation in the gut and your body doesn't have to fight the inflammation, it can focus on other secondary features like fighting infection, like growing hair, skin, and nails, like building muscle tissue, right? Those are secondary and tertiary functions, but reducing the inflammation is primary. So when we reduce the inflammation, it can perform other functions, and it puts those as higher level on that ladder.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed taking the product, and we keep stock of it at our house. So, Andrew's now starting it. He started it probably 2 weeks ago. So, and it's interesting. He was running about 3 miles a day, and I don't know if this is coordinated or not, but now he was running 5.5 miles in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great product. So we're again, thank you for everything that you do.
You're welcome.
All right. So we are going to have 3 comments in here. Hold on. Oops. Maybe I'll see them. Maybe I won't. Let's see here. Lots of thank yous. Suson Essentials, thank you for your kindness and attitudes of love and help. Thank you, Teddy. Chris says thank you. Andrew says thank you for your amazing healing, Dr. Stephen. And so let's spread the gratitude and spread the love and the joy and the peace. All right.
Great spend time with you.
Likewise.
All right.
Take care.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.